you need to have a catheter, and so you would pull the blankets back all the way, because what you're going to end up doing is, in reality, and that's why another reason for that practicing is you're going to be able to see that it actually legs, you know, and the stuff is going to go right here. We're going to put a catheter in you, and so I'm just going to get my supplies together. For one of the new standards that they have come up with is having, it's a two-person thing where one of us is sterile, and the partner is going to be the one helping to hold open the labia, so that you have perhaps a cleaner or sterile situation.
Is that how we should get used to it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
I would think, well, I think the reality is when you go to go in long-term care, especially maybe even in the hospital setting, you're going to need a second person anyway, just because maybe cognitive abilities.
And helping to, if you don't need help here, you might need to have help with the legs.
And then that can be like a CNA, NAC
Yes.
helping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be.
But for Clever Heart students, it'll be
Right.
an instructor or another nurse. Yeah.
Okay, so to start off, you always open things away from you. Why do you open things away from you?
So you don't get
That's right.
on yourself.
No, in this case, it's because this is going to be a sterile field.
Okay.
So we want to open it away, so then, because we're not going to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You never reach across the sterile field. Remember that.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so this one right here, we've had this conversation. This one right here was sterile. It's not sterile anymore, but that's okay because what?
Do you have your gloves on while
No,
you're doing this?
notice that.
Okay.
No, this is going to go under her.
Can you lift the bottom up for me?
And it's just, it's not necessarily a sterile field at this point because I'm going to move this over here. This, the outer edge, 1 inch, we consider, right, so we can touch it. However, once I get gloved, I'm not touching out here, but I can touch in here once I'm gloved, okay? So now I'm going to glove.
And he's coming in
Yeah, the kids are.
Okay.
Very good. Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you want to be careful, right? And, you know, the main, really important part is keeping things sterile. Yes. So if you know that you need to have a different size, then that's why you could get one of those sterile.
What size comes in the kit?
There's one size fits all.
Ah.
That side.
We can read the outside of the kit, and it should say on the outside of the kit.
Okay. So this right here is a drape. And on this person, this is a big drape, but, you know, in reality, it's not good. It helps to protect it, you know. Okay, so this one right here, before I do this, I'm going to put some lubricant down in here. Now, one thing you can do with your helper is have them hold this. She's not going to be sterile, but she will hold it open, and then I can just take them out and wipe them. You want to make sure that you keep your body away from all your sterile field. You've got your fluid here to fill it up. And yesterday I demonstrated that you might check to make sure the balloon is okay. There was some other discussion that we talked about that perhaps if you do that before you put it in, it could maybe decrease maybe the integrity of the balloon. So I showed you, and we'll just go with that. Okay, so now this is still. Want me to open it or?
I can, or you can open it or.
And so we have a patient, so we wouldn't go over the sterile field here. I'm all prepped. Now, I can hold this on this side because we are still sterile, right? I'm going to put this right here. Okay?
Kind of between our legs.
Yes, between the legs, you know. Now this, that's why you might need to have somebody help hold it because this is your sterile field. Okay. So she's going to help open.
And I would, this is really hard
She's
too, because the meatus is right way at the top. So if I'm going to put my fingers here, but in reality, that's what you could do, is you could spread that labia. So we'll just
So you go
here.
down one. Down the other side. What's that?
Sorry.
Oh, you guys. And then down the center. Okay. Oh. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure I'm lubricated here. Or did I just hang it? Stop filming.
So you could undo that. I mean, you could handle that.
Yeah,
and
actually,
have
it's a
that
good point. I could do. Oh, there's one thing I did forget to show, and let me see if I can do that before I. There we go. So this right here would be your specimen collector. So what I could do here in this case, since I did just do that, I'm going to try to catch some. Okay.
It's right at the top here. Yeah, there you go.
Having a baby.
Oh, but look at that. See, I'm getting a specimen. Okay. It's leaking all over, so it might have leaked all out. Okay, so once you get the fluid showing, then you, if you need to catch it, then you would catch it. And then you would push it in another, maybe a couple inches. Because, see, look at that. Look at that. See, we got urine. Yay! And then, so now we put it in a couple more inches. This one probably doesn't work so much because it doesn't have that long of a urethra. But you want to make sure that you would put it in a couple more inches because now we'll have to put the fluid into the balloon. And if you don't push it in far enough, and you're putting air into the balloon and it's still in the urethra, that could be really painful. So there we go. So now, good here. Now we send our urine off. Label this. Now, there we go. Now remember one thing. This always go. So then you would. No, definitely. Usually you're not touching this stuff out there. Anyway, it's not coming. It's not going anyplace, right? Okay, so then this hangs on the side of the bed. There's a place. It's always below. It's always below the bladder. And because what happens here? Let's see, this bag is getting some. So what happens if you raise it up?
Won't drain.
It goes back into the bladder. And this is irritated already. The point here, even though we did try to clean it, we want to make sure to prevent infection. So this goes back in, and it could be infection. So now we're going to put this down below, and then we'll clean up. Clean up. I'm going to put that over there because that's going out. Here's my label for my urine speck. This goes in the trash. And you would just take everything out. You're good, you know, all that stuff. So now, what do? Okay, so they've had it in for a while. It's been in for a month or something like that. And I think it depends on what the order is. They will either change the catheter because it's been in so long or whatever. So how do we take it out? Well, just like we put it in, we have to take the fluid out because we don't want to pull it, right?
Yeah.
And so we pull it out. We know that it shouldn't have been. Oh, another thing, when you record it that you put this catheter in, you put in on here. It says that it's a 16 French, and that this thing. It also says inflate with. This one says it's supposed to inflate with 10 mils. So you're going to write that 16 French Foley catheter was placed, and I filled the balloon with 10 mils.
So they know how much to take
Right.
out.
Okay, so you might feel a little sting as I pull this out.
Ow!
Yeah.
It won't go down.
It will.
This is rubber to rubber, so
Yes.
it's not going to be that hard.
And
to,
so there we
to
go.
remove.
So we got urine coming out on me. Not really, but anyway. And the other thing I forgot to say, as it goes in, you might say, you know, if you want to just kind of take a breath or something, pushing it in. So then I've got my urine. I can take this out and send it off to the lab and put her back together.
Cool.
And where do you attach the bag?
To the
Oh,
leg.
the side.
Oh.
Yeah, there. Let me show it here. There is some beds have a hook. This one does have a hook here.
You'd think all the beds would have a